We are live.
Yes, hi, how are ya? This is Chris from Affinity Home Care Agency in Commerce Township. I am here live with Bob Spencer. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here. Afternoon. Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Bob and I met years ago in a BNI network group in Commerce Township, and we have been working together as an insurance specialist together. And as an insurance specialist, we really, as a home care company, come across that a lot in many different avenues. Whether it's somebody needs advisement with life insurance, from health insurance, from Medicare to long-term care insurance. So I wanted just to start out with our meeting saying what a true power partner truly means. A true power partner in our eyes is what we feel is we want to always support each other. And I always think of Bob for all the type of scenarios that we feel that will be best for what his specialty is. And I would love for Bob to always think of me for home health care, and he would always trust me. And there's a lot of power partners in our group that that if I can't service them, I could we can work with all the other power partners, and we could support them. And that's what a true power partner is, that we really, truly, really want to see each other grow each other. And then you don't have to ask 10 million other people to service line it if you know that that person truly is going to do the best they can for you. And that's why I have Bob as our power partner at Affinity, is that like I know that if I need anyone to solve their problem regarding life insurance or health insurance, I'm gonna call Bob. And I know he'll send them off to the right place. So my first question
Thank
to
you.
you, you're welcome. I'm gonna stop talking, but I wanted to ask, what tell us about yourself and what differentiates yourself about um, you know the insurance plans and what you offer.
All right. Well, I appreciate this opportunity, Chris. Thank you very much. Um, well, I've been a health and life insurance broker for 12 years. And for the first 10 years, I just focused on health insurance. Um, the arena of health insurance with the government involvement has been changing dramatically over the last 10 years anyway. So I felt that that was wise for me to just focus on health insurance and help people get good coverage, hopefully reduce their costs. And so I represent both sides of that equation, people who are under 65 and people who are over 65 and eligible for Medicare. Um, as a broker, I represent many different companies, to name a few: Blue Cross, Blue Care Network, Priority Health. I represent two different religious organizations that provide great benefits for people who are under 65. I represent the Wayne County Health Choice, which is a kind of a local HMO, which has got some unique and high value benefits. So, uh, under 65, I represent maybe 10 or 12 different companies. But we're talking mostly about seniors today. And so I do help a lot of seniors transition from regular medical coverage to Medicare. I represent Blue Cross, Priority Health, Humana, um, Transamerica, Standard Life. All of those companies have been vetted by the government to provide Medicare supplements and different plans. So I feel I have a lot of different options to offer my clients. Um, and real quickly, I transitioned also into life insurance a couple of years ago, and I'll get into that in a minute. But uh, the most important thing folks should understand is that health insurance, even Medicare supplements, are underwritten. And so the time to think about those issues are, if you can, when you're healthy. because your costs are less, your options are more. And particularly with Medicare, people who are transitioning into Medicare, they have what is known an initial enrollment period.
Hmm.
And that period is for 7 months, 3 months before their birth month and 3 months after their birth month.
Mm.
During that time frame, this initial enrollment, everyone has what's known as guaranteed issue. So an insurance company, a Medicare supplement company, must offer you the plan that you want at the price that everyone else gets it at, regardless of your medical condition. So you could have had a heart attack 3 months before. It doesn't matter as long as you enroll in a supplement during that 7 month period. After that initial enrollment period, insurance companies are not obligated to accept you. They can decline because of whatever pre-existing condition you might have. So I want to stress the importance of making that choice or decision while you're in your initial enrollment period.
Hmm.
Because after that, your options could evaporate. So that's, I guess, a quick summary of my health business, both under 65 and folks who are over 65 and eligible for Medicare. Um, Now, uh, I guess I could transition into my life insurance side, and I want to give a quick story here.
Yeah.
Uh, Go ahead.
No,
Oh,
no, I love to hear it. Yeah, but
okay,
I would say, yeah, I'd love to hear about the life insurance because that's just another umbrella of why people would call you.
exactly. Well, 2 years ago, as I mentioned earlier, I was just focused on health insurance, and then 2 years ago, um, two things happened that opened my eyes. I had a long-term health insurance client. He'd been my client for close to 10 years,
Hmm.
and he passed away suddenly, and he did not have any planning in place. So he had no life insurance,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, his wife and daughter had to sell their home uh, and ended up on public assistance. And so not only with the trauma of a death,
That's
they
so
had
sad.
to deal with financial issues. So life insurance would have certainly helped. And then, not about the same time, my 37-year-old nephew
Yeah.
passed away. Yeah, God bless him.
I'm
Uh,
sorry.
he was 37 years old and had developed a brain tumor and succumbed to it after a long, hard fight.
Oh my
But
gosh.
he had married my niece, had two lovely daughters,
No.
uh, and had a plan in place.
Hmm.
So my niece and her daughters did not have to deal with financial strife or financial issues. So those two things led me to uh, talk to my clients about life insurance and
Sure.
long-term care plans also. So I joined the company called Prudential. It's a very recognized brand name. Uh, Prudential has been in business for 145 years. They are the world's largest life insurance company with over $7 trillion of plans in place today.
Yeah. Well.
So they also are the sixth or seventh largest financial asset manager. So
Mhm.
they can help people a lot of different ways. Prudential has some very unique life insurance policies. Chris, earlier you mentioned long-term care policies, and they do or have affiliations with long-term care providers,
Yep.
and but they also have
Talk about that.
product.
Actually, we're going to talk about that on another series, you and I,
Okay,
specifically on the tying in on. I didn't mean to cut you off, but we have so much to talk about, and I know we have limited time. Um,
okay,
but I what it the tying in of the long-term care insurance and the Medicare, I kind of wanted to dive into that a little bit with you and ask a
Okay.
question on that. Is that with Medicare services, it seems that the enrollment for home health care services, we have educated the community that it's covered by their skilled home health care is covered and by Medicare. Is that correct on your end that you educate your families that one day will need care in their home if they and then they have Medicare?
Oh, absolutely. That's almost that's a prevalent situation. I think I saw a stat where 1 in 4 Americans will need long-term care and assisted living at some point. So it's a huge need, and so long-term care does play a big part in providing uh, care both in the home and outside the home. It depends on the carrier you would select for your long-term care
Mhm.
and how they structure their policies. But long-term care policies do supplement and add to what Medicare will or won't cover.
So you
And
mean to tell
so,
me if my mom and dad have Medicare services and also a long-term care insurance plan, that Medicare will cover their nurse and their therapist then, but then if they have a long-term care insurance policy, it'll cover their caregiver services on top of it. Because
yes,
that's what a lot of the family members that I think that I talked to misconstrue is that they have confusion that if you don't have the long-term care insurance, Medicare does not cover the caregiver services. And
that's
that's
correct. Yeah.
is that validated on your end?
Yes, yeah. So, particularly people today, um, they may want to stay in their home. They don't want to leave their home, and they need care. They can't do certain things for themselves. And so, long-term care, a lot of carriers will have a plan where you can even have a loved one fulfill those requirements, or you may have to have more specific specialized care. So it depends on the company and the plan. Um, Getting back to Prudential real quick, well, they have a life insurance policy that will pay for long-term care.
So I could tap into my life insurance plan to take care of my self if I'm elderly, and I could tap
Yes,
into life insurance to take that out of to cover me for the care for the rest of my life, and if I need caregiver services at home.
yes. A quick example might be if you have a $200,000 life insurance policy, you can have 4% of that value per month
So you
to
could
help
take
you.
four
It would
percent
be
of your life
uh,
insurance policy and use that towards your care.
exactly. And there's, and it can go to uh, professional facilities. It has a lot of flexibility. So
Yeah.
it is a neat product. Um, it is permanent insurance, so it's for your whole lifetime. It's not a term policy. It's for your whole lifetime. So that's just one way that Prudential tries to provide products that make sense for the bulk of American citizens. So,
If I'm 65
um,
and up and 70 and I'm at the hospital and I have some chronic conditions that I have, and I decide that I don't have long-term care insurance, they talk to a home care provider like for me, and they say, I'd like to try to get coverage. Is it possible for somebody in their 60s and 70s with a chronic condition to get qualified for long-term care insurance?
the unfortunate thing with all insurances, Chris, is that they are underwritten quite often.
Yeah.
So the time to consider getting long-term care or life insurance is as early as possible. Number one, the cost is less,
Mhm.
and uh, generally speaking, people are healthier when they're younger. And
Yeah.
so, if someone who is 65 or 70 years old and has a chronic condition, then insurance companies will evaluate that condition, even long-term care, and they'll say yes or no.
Yeah.
So again, my point is to consider getting these types of policies while you're healthy, because they are very difficult to get after you develop some type of pre-existing condition or chronic problem.
What's
So my
considered
advice to
chronic?
everyone is, go ahead.
What's considered chronic, and what's considered, borderline, where you've seen it go through, and it's not like, for example, diabetes. That's one example. Is that considered chronic?
It would be considered chronic, but now there's two: type 1, type 2 diabetes. Type
Yeah.
1 that would be insulin dependent. Um, that could not, that could be a disqualification. Type 2 diabetes, where you're taking a medication to control it, would not be considered a disqualifying event. So if someone has severe kidney problems,
Yeah.
who's had cancer in the last 5 years, someone who might have had heart issues, those are things that can eliminate you from getting additional coverage. So I guess my point is the younger you are, the healthier you are, the more options you will have,
Yep.
and lower the price will be. Um,
Yep.
So insurance companies have, and particularly life insurance companies, have like 7 different classifications where they will insure people, but each classification gets a little bit more pricey. So
Yeah.
you're much better off, even though you might be paying longer for that benefit.
Yep.
Number one, you're going to be able to get it, and number two, yes, the price will be less.
Yeah. And so I know that for you, that you were telling me that a nurse, and I know a nurse usually, when from the carrier, comes out and does an evaluation for families who need it. Usually, I come out and I do my own care assessment, and then I
Yes,
send that to your carrier. And then once your carrier thinks that they qualify for caregiver services, if you do have a long-term care insurance policy, this is to the public and out there, that if you do have it and you're not sure if you qualify or not, the first step is to have a home care specialist like me, to come out and evaluate if you actually do need caregiver services or not, or maybe home's not your right place, and maybe another facility, not being at home would be your option. But then if I feel that way, then I have to submit that to the insurance or provider, and then they send a nurse out to validate that, just to make
yes,
sure that actually you qualify for these type of services. So sometimes you might even not know if you qualify or not if you don't just call and see and have a professional come out and actually make sure that they talk about that process. And for me and myself, that I also, Bob can answer. Bob, I'm pointing this way, but I should point this way. Bob over here.
Chris, Chris over there.
Yeah, over over there. So well, can answer those questions for you too, as well. Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate you, Bob. I like to end our meetings with a positive message, and if you can give us positive message on your end, and for a lot of the people out there that have been going through last 3 months in COVID-19, and if you can give a positive message to our viewers and our power partner.
Absolutely. Well, I guess the good news with this COVID, if there is any, is that a lot of insurance carriers have waived deductibles and co-pays and things of that nature if you are suffering with COVID-19. So I guess that's the good news. The other good news is I'm always optimistic, and I think and I know that we will be past this episode of COVID-19 hopefully soon and get back to normal. And I guess I would advise everyone, wear a mask if you're outside and shopping. Social distance, it's been proven, I guess, to help. But also, Chris, is it possible, or how would people get a hold of me, or how do they have to?
Yeah, go ahead. What's the best way to contact you?
Well, my cell phone, and it's on almost 24/7, is 734-740-0864. And my email address is robert.spencer@prudential.com.
Perfect.
Robert.
I just put the number down there for our viewers too.
Oh, thank you.
They can also contact me at Affinity Home Care Agency, and you guys can just type in Chris Affinity Home Care Agency and just contact us, call us directly. And I look forward for you growing in our Power Partner program. It's in a group, just so everyone in the public understands, is Affinity Power Partners is an exclusive membership. We got about 27 members that are individuals that we think of each other about our specialty. For example, Bob is our insurance specialist, and we're going to only think of Bob for our insurance needs, and Bob will think of Chris for his home care needs as well, for anybody in the community that needs home care. And if you're looking to be part of our Power Partner network, is that if you can send me an email, you can contact me, and we can go through that pre-qualifying questionnaire with us and see if that you actually can join the group.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Bob. We appreciate you.
Chris, thank you for the opportunity, and I will be a good power partner.
Wonderful. Same here. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.